Hello, welcome. Okay, so welcome to Jirai 10101. I'm Chariot. I'm Chariot Online on the internet. And I just now realized I can't even see highlighted comments. Lovely. Just a moment. Let me mute my iPad. Okay. So, Jirai. So, here's the crash course of it. No, I cannot see you, Jamie. Should I wait more, Jamie? Oh, yeah, I can see your comment, Jamie. Okay. So, Jirai. Crash course timeline. During the 90s to mid 2010s, there was a style called girly K, which was often used from men in a derogatory way, where they were like, everybody looks the same. Why does everybody look the same? So a lot of times they would use girly K as a way in order to um, make people feel like that it's just all cookie cutter. Then during the later decade of the mid 2010s, we have subcool. And subcool is a Western, I don't want to say that, but Western 90s inspired punk. And we will get that into later because it's still popular today. It's just in the 2010s, in like the later 2010s, it had a big boom. Now, in 2020, there was the pandemic, there was insecurity, there's a lot of people just unsure about things. And in Ikebukuro, there was a giant boom that people noticed of this cookie cutter style that was called Jirai. Now, Jirai is not that much different style wise, but culture wise, it is different. A lot of people have disassociated the initial party lifestyle, the drinking, the drugs, and the host parties, to just the style now. So there are like two different people. One is the style, and then the one is people who still continue to party. Now, the name. Jirai literally means landmine. Why landmine? The name was originally used by older men describing younger women who were at party life, and they would go up to the woman and then they're like, oh, she must be so demure, so nice. To only find out they are not. They are explosive, they are loud, they are just against the grain, basically. And basically, sometime, I can't tell you when time because it was like within 10 years, it was reclaimed by women and it was still often within the nightlife. But as the style grew more and more, the name eventually just got reclaimed. And now it's just kind of like Menhera, when Menhera was a derogatory term. You're ill, you're sick. And now it's just a cute sub-style where you are able to express your mental illness in a way that's just like a positive spin. Now, let's get to the styles. So, number one is stereotypical coordinates. I am literally wearing the same blouse. Wow, okay, did not plan this. So, tops are usually some type of blouse. Some of them are slipovers, some of them are buttons. Slipovers can be easy if you like me and you do nails. So, and they have mismatched texture to lace. For example, here's chemical lace, and then right here has tulle lace. And a lot of times, no matter what substyle, usually there are two tones. For me, I normally do black and white, but in the next slide, you'll see different colors. And then the most common hairstyle is twin tails. I tried twin tails. I thought my hair was long enough. Apparently, it's not. How dare it? And then small, tiny details that I personally really like in Jirai, which is probably just an echo from past me, is that there's rhinestones on everything or something. There are rhinestones on buttons, rhinestones on bows. My actual clips have rhinestones in them. It's awesome. To me, it's awesome. And then there are sheer details, like whether it be the collar of something, whether it be the skirt. I have a Mars skirt actually that was for long, but I use as Jirai. And then platform shoes. The most common platform shoe you'll see are these bubble ones. And then you can also see demonias, loafers, and then there are also people like me where I don't wear those platforms. Let's be honest. The bubble platforms, they're cute, they're adorable, they are aesthetically pleasing, but oh my gosh, they are uncomfortable as hell. So uncomfortable. So when it comes to shoes, just usually some type of platform, I'm going to be honest, I am thinking of buying another pair of Doc Martens. They keep haunting me. I always go back to Doc Martens. But anyways, so when it comes to color, pink and black are very popular, but also there are blue and white. There's also a new color that I'm noticing, which is dark red and black, and I love that, but that's also my favorite color. To anyone who probably seen annoying people on TikTok say the light blue is Tenshi Kaiwai, it's not Jirai. No, it's Jirai. It still reads as Jirai. You know how this is gonna sound so weird. You know how you go to one of our meets and someone is in a casual Gyaru code, but it still reads as Gyaru because they have it at certain style away? Same aspect. It is still Jirai. Jirai is still Jirai. And then next style is subcool. Now, like I said, it's still popular from 10 years ago. It came from the Western punk scene. It's very oversized. It is very mishmash patterns. Also, typically usually has two tones, but the hair can be more casual in the sense that you don't have to have a lot of hair accessories. You don't need a lot of bling, or you don't always have to tie it up. For example, when I started Jirai, my hair and bob was so short, like up to here to the point I couldn't even tie it up. So I just brushed my hair out and I called it good enough. I did try braiding, it did not work. But you do not need to have twin tails or very long hair to participate in this style. So brands for subcool also cross over into ones of visual K, such as Dear My Love, AC/DC Rag with Gina and Flavor. Another thing you will see is that a lot of Jedi brands will cross over into each other. So you're going to see Dear My Love a lot, but remember that Dear My Love is also Ryogan Sata, and we will get that into later. But one aspect that's kind of interesting about subcool is that monotones are more popular, but monotones are sometimes just normal subculture style, and other times it's just, oh, okay, you are just able to kind of just cross over into different aspects of the Jirai styles. And then similar to style 2 is Jedi Danshi. Jedi mean landmine, Danshi mean boy or young man. So it's kind of like the male version of Jedi, but I'm pretty sure all of us agree that anyone, no matter what gender, size, or life, is able to wear any type of J fashion. It doesn't need to be labeled. It's just a style that people enjoy. So the only difference between Jirai Danshu, Soko, and Jirai is that there are less accessories, and platform shoes seem to be a lot more intense in the style. And then, yes, Jamie, there are boy Jedi style, but again, it's just kind of more the aspect that there are also men that can be Jedi. So next is different brands, such as Oriflamme and Liège, Morphine, Kai, and Oi. And then, as you can see, a lot of people do have dyed hair. You don't need to have dyed hair. Black hair and blonde hair are quite common. And then I'm aware the slide on like the farthest right is a woman. However, tracksuits are also very common in Jirai. I feel like we are just kind of keep circling when it comes to Ikebukuro and Shibuya 109. You know? Now, you probably hear this all the time. Ryuko Santa. What is it? What does it mean? So it literally translates to mass produced. Another derogatory word that men used for college students at the time, where they noticed that women look the same when it comes to style. Similar hair, similar clothes, similar cuts of everything. So it was basically very cookie cutter. And then eventually, Banya culture, which is basically like underground bands, the culture where you'll see like hostess or host, I think. And people are basically mass producing different objects in order for some things to be more accessible, which is why a lot of times people will be like, Ryuko Santa and the Jedi are the same. The only difference is the production. For example, like the blouse I'm wearing, you've probably seen this one a lot because it's such a popular blouse. And it is definitely a copycat, and people will steal the design a lot. Now, let's get into Jedi culture. We got down into the style, we got down into the lovely, I guess, nightlife style. So we'll get into Sanrio. Why my melody? Why Kuromi? And then Pian makeup. What is that? Yes, I am wearing it, but I will get more into depth. And then the lifestyle. Like I said, there are two different type of people who participate in the lifestyle and people who just wear the fashion for funsies. So, culture clash number one, Sanrio. Why Sanrio? Because not only are they currently one of like the most popular with like Cinnamon Roll and Hello Kitty, but the personalities between My Melody being sweet and caring and Kuromi being independent and mischievous, the personalities match the aesthetic of things being adorable and innocent at first, and then why people are attached to the opposite aesthetic when it comes to personalities. So it's kind of like a Jekyll of Hyde of all things. Now, the makeup. Pian. What is Pian? It's a slang term for innocent. A lot of times, Pian is kind of like the pleading emoji. So a lot of times it'll be Pian, which is why a lot of times in photos with my friends and I, we go like this. It's Pian. And then the pleading face emoji is also used to be like saying please or trying to be innocent. But again, Jirai being Jirai, this expression is also used to be melancholic. It's supposed to invoke sympathy, especially with this type of party lifestyle. Oh, thank you, Jamie. Yeah, I like the gift too. And then Jedi culture number two is the lifestyle. So it is very much a party lifestyle, which is why stereotypically there are people in debt and there are a lot of lonely people. Another part of the loneliness aspect is that it came from runaways in the 2019 to 2010s. A lot of stereotypical teenagers would come from the countryside and run away to Ikebukuro to, one, do work, and two, get away and hope for change. But a lot of times that change is negative. And then all of these coincide with a very popular manga called Tomorrow I Will Be Someone's Girlfriend. There is a teenage protagonist named Yua. She's 19. She runs away from the countryside to Ikebukuro, and she gets into a very suspicious lifestyle. She falls in love with a host, and she basically has to, in this violent cycle of needing to do sex work in order to afford her hosts and along with her lifestyle. So she's in massive debt. She's very lonely, but also host being host, it is very much a party lifestyle, and they need to fund that. Now, like I said, all of these do not need to coincide. Take me, for example. I am probably sober as sober can someone probably get, and I still go to parties and I just drink soda. I'm not lonely either. I have an entire like co-gals, even GPG members invite me to meet, and I always feel like I'm a sore thumb that sticks out. And also debt. Unfortunately, I am a student, so debt is just a natural thing in this country. But I am hoping that it's not going to increase over time. Now, next is filters. You've probably seen this filter on the right a lot. I use it sometimes. I know a lot of my friends used it. So a lot of times the filter is just a paleness in order to make it something look more innocent, more kawaii, but also being like kind of illness. So a lot of time, you can look this up, but I personally use RedNote because it's free. It's free. All the filters are free. You don't need to pay for anything else. I use grade number 1. Set the brightness up to 11. Set the shadows down to -11. And then also set the saturation down to -11. That should get you there. And if not, I am so sorry. You can look it up. I had to look it up too for a moment. Now, a lot of times, oh my gosh, Nari, you just made me laugh. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. Thank you, Nari, Jirai Nation. So now you also probably noticed that there's face stickers. I use face stickers. It's probably going to be my first and probably not last time I'm going to debut my face on the internet. I know, shocking for most of my friends. But basically, it goes into Oshikatsu and Banya culture where they can fantasize about fictional men or like hosts, and because they are more actually like reachable than actual celebrities, actual idols, then they can fangirl and post on social media without actually being known. Next is Oshikatsu. Oshikatsu literally means to push. It initially came from VTubing culture, and VTubing culture, as you know, can get very intense. I'm part of that culture. It gets very intense. But basically, it means your absolutely favorite. Eventually, this does get out of VTubing culture, which causes a lot of people to just use it in the mainstream. For example, like, you probably will hear Kamiyoshi, and my Kamiyoshi is the little twin stars. Where am I? It's the little twin stars. So, Kami means God, Oshi means to push. So that means I am having my godly favorite being little twin stars. I do have a celebrity, but I don't have any products of him. He's too expensive. Love him, too expensive. And then, yeah, Jamie. So a lot of times when it comes to Oshikatsu, because they're very young people, so trying to like reach for something that's actually more reachable is a lot easier than trying to chase after a celebrity. So next is Monster. I'm very much a Monster fan. Why Monster? It's kind of a weird thing. So Yua from Tomorrow I'll Be Someone's Girlfriend does drink Monster because she was underage when she ran away. It was like a gift from like the first person who helped her, but no, I'm not going to spoil it. But basically, that's the gift she always got from that one person. But also, because of the late nightlife aspect, in order to go from going on the grind for the party to going on the grind in the daytime, you're gonna need energy. So that's why Monster Energy is also in there. But let's also be honest, the pink monsters are very Jirai coded. They're very cute. Now, what do you think? You want to give it a try? Do you like it? I hope my slides are helpful. I know they are very Gen Z coded because of it being more pretty than informational. But what do you think? You want to give it a try? Now, thanks for being with me. I hope this was helpful. I hope you all are able to get more information about this. If not, does anybody have any questions? I'm trying. Also, shout out to Nari. She helped me make sure my information was correct. How did I learn about Jirai? So, unshockingly, in 2020, when the world just shut down, I joined TikTok. And then, and I just, one, found out that there's an entire J fashion community on TikTok. And two, found out about people wearing Jirai. I found out that people were very interested, they're very cool, but I also found out about like the party aspect. But also just was about the same time I got interested in the Gyaru. So like that's why I'm like, can I be both? Yes, I can be. I don't know why I'm so strict. You're welcome, everybody. Oh, links of sources. I'm gonna be 100% honest. It was mostly Reddit, an interview with Earl Grey and Yumechi, I think that's how it's pronounced. And then they were being interviewed by Cybergirl. She has 2 videos, one about the fashion and one about the lifestyle. That helped me a lot to where I am. And then I also just asked my friends. For example, like we have a common member in Co-Gals. They are Akita, I think. And then a lot of times they are more into the lifestyle than I am. Jirai content creator, that is kind of difficult because I only follow 2 people. And then, so I only follow Mika Baby. She is a online people. And then, yeah, she just recently did a trip to Japan. So I'm like, oh, that's so dreamy. And then there are another one, which is Yumichi that I mentioned earlier. She's also Jirai, but she also does more subcle now, so I don't pay attention to her as much. And then Eater Bag, that makes me want to get for my Oshi now. I highly recommend. They're really fun. My friend Nari has one, and she wears it all the time. And I'm always like, oh, I want to eat a bag. And then I'm like, what the hell do I put in it? I don't have enough little Twin Star stuff. Nari's Eater Bag is so good, Jamie. Oh my gosh. And then Marina K, it is a lot more accessible. Unless you're me and you're like Liz Lisa. A lot of times these stuff can range between $25 to $38, I want to say, up to $40. Liz Lisa is definitely more on the more expensive side, where it is definitely more above the $50 point. I've actually been eyeing a jacket at Liz Lisa. It's kind of bad. What advice can you give for some plus size people who want to get into style? Especially interested in Yuko Santa, but I'm afraid I won't be able to find clothes that'll fit me. Unfortunately, I don't know about plus size people, especially since I don't follow plus size creators, but I'm sure they're out there. But also, Yuko Santa is very more accessible. You could go on Taobao, like Marina said, and you can also even just find some at AliExpress. My first skirt I ever got was from AliExpress. My second skirt was from Mars. And you can also find, oh yeah, Lillian Lace. I actually have that set. I love that set. It's so comfy. It's the most comfortable dress I ever bought. And then when it comes to finding clothes, a lot of times you can just enter Jirai and then find it. However, for me, being Chinese and reading Chinese. I am such an idiot that I can't remember it. Honey Pepper 9, yeah, I agree. When it comes to typing in Japanese, I am such an idiot because I do the same thing I did in high school. I'm going to be very honest. I cheated on my test. It was my own computer. So I would switch from Chinese to keyboard, type it in Chinese, and then continue the rest of the test in Japanese. So that's why a lot of times I would enter Jirai instead of Jirai. It translates to the same, but it's just different. Anyone who is interested, there is Honey Pepper 9. I haven't tried their items. I have been thinking of trying their Whisper series, I think it's called. They're currently re-releasing one of their most popular sets with 2 extra colors. So if you're interested in that, go ahead. Also, kind of like my best advice to give to anybody is accessorize. Try to find accessories. Luckily, they're easy to find on AliExpress, or after I've done this multiple times, I asked Jamie to make me some because why not? And then a lot of times another thing is that try to get better at PN makeup. The best way I can say is try to find a nice pink that goes with your skin tone, and then try to find a actual glitter. Try not to go for matte, so you want it to go more glowy because that is like the style now. Kind of like most popular styles during certain decades, they will still omit certain mainstream things, but they'll still follow the actual, what's it called? Like the actual mainstream styles. For example, like glowy is a lot more popular now. Oh yeah, shout out to Jamie. She does good vision. She does a really good job. And then what else? What else? Any other questions? Yes, Caroline, do it. Commissioner, do it. Yeah, you're welcome, everybody. With pan makeup, is it typical to not have much bottom lid eyeshadow? No, it is actually quite a bit. It actually goes all the way down to here, up towards where my mask is. It is dramatic. Also, there are people who do lenses. It's just, for me personally, lenses drive me insane because I have prescription on only one eye. So a lot of times when there's a prescription, it's heavy on one side, and the other side, there's nothing. So it drives me insane. And for some reason, that unevenness just drives me insane. Oh, so Jamie, do you have any other questions? See some with and without. Yes, some people do pan makeup. Some other people do pan makeup. One of my friends, Lunatic Kingdom on Instagram, she doesn't do like stereotypical pan makeup I do, but it still beats as Jirai because she styles it in that way. And then also maybe try following some tutorials. Also, I'm going to be completely honest, a lot of times I rush from being with family to go to meets, which is why a lot of my makeup is more Doyen inspired. And it's still, I can add more to make it more intense. If you want to end early, no pressure. No, does anyone have any more questions? If not, then 5 more minutes and then I'll go. Thank you for tuning into my, oh, never mind. Any other questions? Yeah. Also, oh gosh, what's her name? I'll find it and I'll put it in the Discord. There is a person on YouTube that I follow to make an egg style, and that was like the most helpful thing I ever done. I just make it a lot more dramatic by like adding more pink, adding more brown underneath. Any other Jedi characters? Interesting. Not that I can think of. I have heard some people use Lily and Lulu, the magical comet twins, which is like the darker twins of little twin stars. But other than that, not really. But also a lot of Sanrio characters are put into Jedi somehow. I have seen someone have a Pom Pom Puddin themed cord because the accessories were yellow, but the rest of the cord was very much stereotypical Jedi. Hmm? What? Oh yeah, I can try to share a slideshow on Discord. I just don't know how to make it more. How do I say this? I don't know how to make it so I don't have to give permission and access to everybody. I don't know how to do that, so I may need to ask somebody that. Also, if I do share my slides, there are a lot of notes on there, and that is my script. But oh, thank you, Jamie. There is a script that I was following, but it still has some helpful things in there. I do apologize that I don't do Swissos because Reddit is considered not a reputable source, unfortunately. Okay, so any other questions? If not, I'm gonna go. I'm sorry that this is so short. It's just how my brain works. A lot of times I would do one thing and I'll just finish it and then I don't go back to it, really. Oh, yes. You're welcome, Meredith. Okay. Oh, yes, everybody, put your vote in. Who you want to win? Past couple of years, Dorian makeup has become popular. Jedi also bottom now. They did it in 2021. Yeah. I was such in a rush this morning that I didn't put my bottom lashes on, but I also knew I was going to wear a mask. So it's not going to see too much. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and skedaddle. Okay, bye.